Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. It is Friday. Sorry, Friday. Tuesday, the 7th of May. Okay, what's going on today so far? Okay, so we're continuing by the looks of things with this upward movement. I just looked at the daily and it looks like we're continuing on up. We've had a measured leg so far. Overnight we had this push up, 2 legs back. That's a trade I would have considered there. Looking like a higher low. We got a leg up with a break, 2 perfect legs down, and then a push up. So measured leg played out. Ionis, how you doing? Sam, happy Friday. I'm losing my marbles. I knew it would happen at some time. Speedy, how you doing, bud? I keep true. Yesterday was very slow. Yeah, there was a bank holiday in the UK, so there wouldn't have been many UK traders trading yesterday, and I don't know where the bank holidays in other parts of, I think Australia and probably a few others. Yesterday was very slow. I looked at max chart and it was full of arrows. Yeah, it's the way it is. It was slow yesterday anyway. But what I'm liking, Scruffy, how you doing, bud? What I'm liking is I'm starting to get some control over my decision making. And knowing, okay, market's just about to open, knowing sometimes when to walk away. I tend to, up until recently, I tend to get a bit obsessed with trading, and I just, I like the fact that I'm now being able to separate work from sort of home time. So it wasn't a great day yesterday. It started off slow, so I thought, let's take a day. Family was at home, so it worked out okay. Had a nice day in the end. We did a skip run, got a load of stuff to the tip, cleaned out some of the stuff in the garden, had a little bit of lunch out with the wife. So it turned into a nice day. Weather was nice. So I'm just going over the garden, reseeding and overseeding, and just generally a tidy up and a jet wash to clean it all up. So it's quite nice actually to have a little bit of time at home. So yeah, enjoyed the day off. So I did later in the evening, I did come back and trade that evaluation, which I passed. Market rallied. I think it was it around about here? We had a bit of a rally, so I just went in heavily with 5 contracts and passed it in about 3 or 4 trades. So I am now finally up to 10 PAs. One of them is the one down there, which is 609, second from bottom. That's recently had a payout, so they've removed that, so I can trade that now. So as normal, I'm trading them all apart from that one with 2 contracts. So that one will just be a single contract until I can let that build. I'll just forget about that now and let that build up slowly in the background. The plan is to, when I've taken a payment and they've paid for themselves, is just to forget about them then. Sit in the background and try and grow the account so I can hopefully take a regular payment every month. So there you go. So looking on that NQ, we've been going sideways. You can see it there. So I've been ranging and we've had a couple of legs out. So leg and a leg, whether this will come back in or not, I'm not too sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So channel break, new high, measured legs played out. So seeing that NQ, I wouldn't be surprised if it came down towards the EMA, but it is early days yet. Excuse me. So hope everyone, did you guys have a good day yesterday? Anybody get any trades? It was slow, but I don't know. There was just less volume than normal. Sometimes it can be a little bit detrimental, but like I say, I mean, we could have a meteorite hit the planet somewhere and Mac could still mark about 20 trades. So it is easy to mark them after the fact, but in real time, it's different. You've got to make very quick. That's the trouble with this style of trading. You've got to be quick thinking and you've got to be able to sort of stick with your decision because, sometimes you have a second or two to make a decision. And in real time, it's just not that simple to take that many trades. Got 2 trades, but break even, no profit. Okay. It's not a bad option that sometimes if you end up break even, You know, sometimes, well, I got in that trade yesterday, which worked in the end. But I think lately I took a trade the other day, which I decided to get out of. And in the end, it started to go in my favour. So I decided to wait. And in the end, it went against me. So I think if I get that initial feeling that something doesn't look right, how I felt about the trade has changed. I'm just going to get out for break even or break even plus one and stick with me decision. The thing about getting out break even plus one is you know you're not going to lose anything, and better to be safe than sorry. So are we now making a larger channel? I'm not sure. We've had a break and a push up, make a new high, and we've got a little sort of double top there, so I'm not sure whether we are possibly making a bigger channel that actually would fit. But it's a bit early days yet to assume that's going to push up some more. That NQ, it's been going sideways overnight, and that's the first breakout we've had, so it could come back either into the range, maybe to the EMA, or to retest these. So for me, it's more likely to come down. I mean, if there's a bigger channel, there may be a bigger channel there that's forming, but let's have a look. Actually, that's a nice looking channel, to be honest with you. But I'm just sitting tight at the moment because we got a leg, we got a touch, and a touch. It's actually a nice looking channel. I didn't really notice that until we so we could have a leg and a leg. We may come down to the EMA, but I wouldn't take that anyway. So I'm just not in the market to go long just yet. That one small break, but it is too far from the EMA and it is congestion. And as I say, that NQ could have a leg and a leg. So going long here could come down here and stop you out. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment, but we have spent, I mean, yesterday basically it was an up day. We had a leg up, sideways and a leg up. Day before, we had that initial big push in the news, then we recovered about 50% of it, and then we ended up high. So basically, opened here, closed here. So that was another up day. Opened here, closed here. So up again. So I had a look at the daily earlier. So we do seem to have a fashion of moving up at the moment. So let me have a look at this. Trouble is, you just don't know. Sometimes we'll do this and you'll look to go long and it'll trigger you and come down and then start to range. But just a quick look on that NQ there. Nice channel, leg and a leg. If we can get down here and get something bullish, hopefully we may get something the same there. But I'd like it to come down and trigger that bar and get a little close to that EMA. But I like that channel. My only slight concern was that we've been ranging, so it could fail that breakout, but I think that breakout had a chance to fail there and didn't. So I wouldn't expect that to come back now. But as we know, it's been bullish day after day. So leg and a leg, bullish bar there. Let's see how we get on there, and obviously something similar here. I'm just going to slide that back just a touch, just so I can see it there. If this forms bullish, then I can look for hopefully something here, but I'm not so sure about it at the moment, actually. I'm just going to yank this out of the way just for a minute. I don't like that anyway, that little leg. I'd like a leg and a higher low if I'm going to take there. I wouldn't trade off there at the moment. Leg, break. That's just too risky for me. You can recount that, but technically you can call it a second entry long, but I don't like the fact that we've got that red channel there. It's just got risk written all over that for me. And that's going to get stopped out for sure. Now, looking on that NQ now, there's a failure coming up. So maybe that is going to come down and retest this, or maybe it may just trap some shorts and then start working up. But I'm not sure about that. I'd like to see that trigger. It is a failure, but it's not a great bar. But if it fails and pushes up, then I'd expect it to get up to these tops. Okay, so if that ends up bullish, that might not be a bad decision to look for long here. Let's see if that holds. It may do. I do love the fact of having this NQ. It really makes my decision making so much better. I just get a safer feeling having a glance at that. That's struggling to hold, that is. So if that does start to push up, then maybe a higher low up here. But it's struggling. Okay, now it's starting to look maybe a little bullish. We'll see. There's a little triple bottom there, so no, it's just congested at the moment. Yeah, that NQ, it's not a bad place to go to push up from. It just seems to be struggling here. So that, to me, how it finished, yeah, it's just too congested to do anything really. It's looking like it's going to go up, but I'd have to wait for the higher low there now. I couldn't just get in there because you don't know whether it's going to start doing this and come down. So the safer option is to wait for a higher low. Because we could get a leg and a leg. Just drag that NQ in again. Yeah, this is why I love having this. It just gives you, it's almost like having a separate opinion. So let's see if that triggers. Yeah, it really could do anything here. That triggers there and pushes up. That will be a higher low. But it is congested. And we could have a leg and a leg. So that's interesting. It's another one that seems to be holding. Surely it's got to break below all that lot. Surely it's bound to. Why is volume so low this week? Well, yesterday was a bank holiday in the UK and other parts of the world as well. I think Australia. Basically, a lot of the countries that we invaded and called our own over the years. So that's why the volume was down yesterday. So is it low today? Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Rhodey and how you doing, but I didn't see it there, mate. Sorry about that. So are we going to hold here and push up? Maybe a triple test. One, I call that one attempt. Second attempt. So far on the NQ, price is holding there, but we really could have a leg down. It could just be almost like a reverse bull flag, a leg down, sideways, followed by a leg down, which wouldn't be a terrible thing, really, because another leg from here would retest this. Would be a nice measured leg, like a correction, bouncing off this place, this area. Would not be terrible. Because then I'd still expect it to get and break these highs, so but it's congested here, it could go either way. So first attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. Let me just check there's nothing larger there that's starting to build. It's possible. We need to get above these 2 wicks, really. Channel up, break. If we can make a higher low here somewhere, get ready to push up this. Start to creep up that line. Yeah, that's what I don't like, those 3 wicks. Okay, still not ready to go long yet. That could come down and close down here. We need a higher low, really. Yeah, that was my concern. Teasing you in, then all of a sudden comes down and closes bearish. So another wick, another wick, another wick. This could take a nosedive. Okay, possible higher low there.
Order submitted.
Trouble is, it could come down and retest this a 3rd time, so I just don't like the way this is pushed up and then it's dropped again. Something I just don't like here. Something's making me a bit nervous. No, I don't like this.
Order cancelled.
We're already at the highs here, very nearly, so this could come back down. Not only that, it may work, but I just don't like the way it's struggling. We could end up doing something like this, and this could come back here. We may end up going a bit sideways, so something there is just making me feel a little bit nervous. You got a scalp off that, did you? Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. Look, there is some support along there, so you just... The NQ seems to be struggling. So I just don't like it. It could, we've pushed up wick, up wick, up wick. We've pushed up, bullish bar all of a sudden crossed over, triggered, and this thing is on its way down. So I made a good decision to stay out of there because it just didn't feel right, regardless of what there was. Something didn't feel right. I mean, it went up. Yeah, so you'd have got a point off it. So it was a good decision to leave that one alone. That's going to break below there 100%. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, there it goes. Yeah, it was a good decision that. It basically went up a point, a quarter of a point, triggered and come straight back down. Yeah, so that was a good decision to leave that. Something didn't look right. I don't like going long. This, for me, to go long needs to be down here. 1, 2, 3, triple test, not most of the way up there. Missed the second entry, short off the engulfing, yeah. So that was interesting. So it's so much down to a feeling now. Now, granted, we got a leg, a break. We're making multiple attempts to go out. It is a higher low, but look what's happened. Look what's going on. We're struggling here. Something's not right, and we already know this is struggling because we've seen it go up, come down, go up, come down. It just doesn't look strong enough to me. So leaving that one was a good decision. Too busy loading over. Yeah, took the short. Yeah, see, I don't know whether to even take a short at the moment because we have had a channel up there and it has made multiple. So it's hard to say, really, isn't it? While I'm not mega sure what I think I'm looking at the moment, sometimes I think it's good to, if you're not sure, just to stay out of it. Now, don't get me wrong, some of you guys might be trading on evaluation. If I was trading on an evaluation, then I would be much more aggressive. There's a wider channel and we just break out of it. You're looking at something like that, are you? Yeah, actually. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Actually, it's funny you should say that because I've got exactly the same on there, a wider channel on the NQ, look. Isn't that weird? So the thought process is in the right direction, so yeah. Let's bring this down just a fraction. Top's looking nice. Yeah, so maybe a leg, and maybe we're going to push up from here. I mean, it's bullish lately, the markets, isn't it? So we tend to go up, we go sideways, we go up, we go sideways, we go up. Well, I say sideways. It was almost like a little bit of downwards, and then up. So yeah, I think I'd lightly expect this to go up. Let's just see if there's any type of support there at all. Maybe a little. Actually, funnily enough, it's sort of bouncing off the overnight highs. Leg, a couple of attempts and another leg, so see what happens there. So there, any type of a larger channel I'm starting to brew, maybe. So channel break new low. Let's have a look on this NQ. We got the same channel break new low. We're under the EMA on the NQ at the moment, so it's hard to say really. I mean, the NQ looks like we could Oh, well, look at that, come back in. So we've bounced, we've come back into the range, pushed out, and we've got this bearish bar. So it'd be interesting to see. I'd like to see this bearish bar trigger. If it triggers and comes in, we have a leg and a leg. Then I'd say this is more likely just a larger range. I mean, look at that. Certainly could be. Break. Got a break there, maybe attempt to push up, attempt again, leg, break. It's hard to know, isn't it? There is a higher low here, but price is under that EMA, so that's just too risky. Will it work? Possibly. But we could get a second entry short there, and it could come down for another leg. So this was on a PA, was it? Yeah, I mean, it might work. I just can't do it at the moment because, one, it's congested. Two, price is all under. Nothing's closed above that EMA yet, so it is just risky taking that one. Just at the moment, looking at the NQ, see price is under it again. Whether it'll go up or not, who knows. So this does look like now it may be just ranging. And there's the overnight highs, so that looks like it's playing a possible part. Not get much colour there. Okay, so there is a higher low there. It's just a bit too early for me because you don't know whether we're going to make a couple of attempts and come back down. It may just be a bigger range. So it's just a bit too early to take that, especially with price all being below the EMA. So we got a channel break, new low, higher low. Yeah, this could still come down. Just looking at the NQ, we got a channel there with a break. Possible second entry short there, or hidden second entry short. Possible, possible, possible. Yes, I mean, sometimes, some weeks you just get a bit of low volume. I mean, where are we now? Starting to come up to the holiday season, aren't we? So, you know, I know from experience in the UK, when you get a bank holiday, a lot of people just take an extra day and just turn it into, you know, maybe take the Friday off, take the Monday and the Tuesday off and turn it into a long weekend. So maybe why. So, what's going on here now? Are we going up? Or are we coming down? Lag, that was my concern, taking that. Because this to me looks like a bigger range and we could come down for another leg. So that was another reason not to take that. One, it's congested sideways. Two, prices under there. And three, the NQ looks like we could have a leg and a leg. It may just come down and retest this before it pushes up because there's almost like a bit of a channel work in there. So maybe we bounce here a couple of times and then do push up to here. But the NQ at the moment is telling me a different story. So there may be something like that. It may just be a bigger range day. If this came down to here, it's an odd picture, but it could be. But until it's come out of there and stayed there, I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't like that yellow, it just makes it look a bit odd. grey. Why is that grey just not very dark? What's going on there? It's more like bloody green. Strange. Okay, so possible leg and a leg. Something's not right here. It's distracted me for some reason. Channel break, new high. It's odd, isn't it? Odd looking. Weird. Shooting this way, shooting that way, straight up. Okay, second entry short off here wouldn't be bad. At the moment, this NQ to me looks like we just got a big range, and it's just, there is some support and resistance there. It may trap some longs and then come down, so we got a leg down, maybe a failure up to the EMA, close below there, possibly coming down some more. done. Shorted that too on the 500 tick chart. Better close before losing profit here. Oh, excuse me. Nothing worse than taking a trade, getting a nice bit of profit, and then losing it. Oh, that's why so many times now I just take one trade a day. See, the way I see it, I take one trade a day. If I get 3 winning trades even over a week, that's over $2,000 per account per month. It's a nice number. And with only sort of needing 3 trades, I can sit back and wait for real good ones. There is sort of a failure there. I'm just not sure about this. Just looking at that NQ at the moment, we've had this leg down and another sort of 2 legs. If we've got this channel, we could try and push up. This just doesn't look in a rush to come down. It's triggered that bearish bar, so it may come down, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan of what I'm seeing to go short here. You know, if you think about this as the bottom, maybe the channel, then this is coming well away from there, so you could get caught out if you go short there. So I'm just looking at this as well, this support. We're kind of bouncing off support there, so it could trigger you and push up. So I'm just not in a massive fan of going short at the moment. Let's see if there's a possible second entry short there. Never triggered that bearish bar anyway. Okay, so channel down, 1 push up, 2 push up.
Order submitted.
Just looking at this at the moment as possibly a lower high. No, that's stitched
Order
up.
cancelled.
It's alright, I was looking on that NQ. I didn't like that bearish bar, but there may be a second entry short. Coming down. I don't know. I don't like any of this, to be honest with you. I don't quite know what's going on. We got a leg, a break, 2 pushes down to a new low, so it's a little bit messy. And I mean, if this is ranging, we've had a couple of attempts. We've come back in, push up, push up, push up. You'd think it'd likely come down here, but well, look. Maybe a couple of legs with a bit of a break, and then we're down. I don't know. So maybe if we get a lower high down here. It's an odd picture, really. It's not very clear. I think the safest option is to look at it as a range at the moment. We're trading 1 accounts, and I need more than 200 US for the day to be a winning day. Top step roll, you need 5 days to get a payout. Do you know, I did consider trying another one just out of curiosity. The trouble is, I've got all my eggs in one basket, really, with Apex. So if anything ever, happened with Apex, it'd be nice to have a clue where to go. So it'd be nice to maybe, in the next couple of months, just do an evaluation and maybe just go through the system, the evaluation and a PA and payout, just to get a feel for someone else, because you never quite know what happens in the future. If you'd have only just ever worked with Apex and something happens, it'd be nice to be able to, have had the experience of going through another prop firm. I mean, the last one I went through was, I think, UProfit. Bolinox. I was just going to mention Bolinox, actually. I was watching something yesterday. I think the Alpine guys use Bolinox. I think it's good to experience other prop firms to know, what to do just in case anything's, odd happened. Has your win-loss ratio improved? To be honest with you, because I've been up and down lately, apart from the last 6 weeks, I hadn't been entering anything into a trading journal, but I started back in with TraderSync, so I think I've put a couple of days worth in there. So that's it at the moment. There's just under $10,000 with those accounts, so you can see the tick I had yesterday. And there was a day, I think, was it Monday or something? Was it Monday? One trade. So I've just started using this again. So at the moment, I don't know, but what my win rate is, it's got to be, I don't know, 80, 85%, something like that. It's hard to say. I mean, last time I used that, when everything was going well, I was up to about 91, 92%. But then if I lost a trade, I'd end up going on tilt, and that would just knacker the old system and that. And then if you lose all the money, you've got to delete everything in there because it's showing the wrong balance. But I thought now I'm sort of seem to have some more consistency, and I'm not, I can walk away now when I take a loss. I thought I'd restart it up. So it'd be interesting for me to know, to be honest with you, because I seem to do well when everything's going well, but you know what it's like when you take a loss. But it isn't affecting me that way anymore, so I thought it'd be interesting now to start journaling. I write down everything that happens as well. I have a trading plan which I write nice sign, it's just to help keep it more professional and maybe keep me sort of focused. Bolinox is a 5-day trading which I find a pain over the holidays. What deals do they have? Discounts and that sort of thing. What would you pay for a $50,000 evaluation at the moment on Bolinox? Sam, I used to watch you back in the fall when we had to quit during winter to reset my brain. Yeah, we've all had to do that, mate. It's nice to see improvement, mate. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. That was chat with Wilson yesterday. We just had a little chit chat. He's taken a bit of time off, needed a bit of a break. But now he's back in the saddle again, so hopefully he should sort of, I think Wilson will do all right. He's got a good mentality for it. But he's back in the saddle now again. I know the current rate I've had that's good going, mate, for 9 months. That's probably a record, that is. I think the majority of people lose them in 9 days, let alone. That's good going, that is, mate. That's good. That's impressive, that is. That tells me a lot about you. If you're able to hold those, that's consistency. I mean, 9 months in the world of trading is a long time, so that's good going, that is, mate. Hey, Sam, how you doing, mate? Are you trading or working today? I don't think I've seen your stream, Sam. Locks has 90% off sale. It's about 18 US. You are working, are you? You don't get caught. I don't want to be responsible for you getting a slapping. You'll be on at 5. I got you. Okie dokie. Yeah, if anybody trades, is going to be trading later after 5 UK time. Sam will be streaming 5 UK time, which is about midday. I think, is it midday Eastern time? It's about when I finish, actually. Well, I've been finishing early lately. I don't think I've done more than 3 hours for a while. Anytime, mate. Anytime. No, I was just saying, Sam, I might give another prop firm a go just to go through the process. So, you know, if I ever get to the stage of maybe trading multiple prop firms, or, you know, something ever happens to Apex, it'd be nice to know where to go. Trouble is, if something all of a sudden goes tits up with Apex, you need to start, you know, doing something quickly. So it'd be nice to sort of do it. Hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, it'd be nice to do it in my own time without it being a rush or a panic. The trouble is, when you got all your eggs in one basket, your bollocks, that's good. I was thinking the same. It does, mate. Yeah. Trouble is, if you leave it until something goes wrong, you're panicking, then, aren't you? Who do I use? Who do I go to? And who was I using before this? I think it was UProfit. Their sign-up system took a lot longer. It would take a day, at least a day, for when you sign up for an evaluation to get it all working, if I remember rightly. Whereas with Apex, it's about 3 minutes, isn't it? Something like that. And also, when you sign up for a PA, I think it took about a day or so to get my live account. Whereas Apex, same again, everything's sort of mega quick with Apex. Were you talking about the new Top Step deals? I didn't think Top Step was a contender, actually. Who would you guys rate next to Apex? See, personally, because I've used Apex for so long, there's no rule or anything that they do that I wish would change, in all honesty. So for me, they're almost a perfect firm. But who would you guys rate close to Apex? So Chris, we know, mentioned Bullanox. But I think it's definitely worth just to go through the process of an evaluation and a PA, just, you know, to know what the process is and what you have to do. Because I know people like, I know a few other traders trade both. I think Alpine doesn't he? I think he trades a few other accounts, you know, bit by bit. Shilling them for Top Step. New platform looks interesting. Went public yesterday. Did it really? When you say platform, you mean an actual trading platform? Do you know what? I'm wondering whether this isn't even a range. Alpine is a great gambler. Yeah, I can't work that guy out, to be honest with you. I can't see how. Now, don't get me wrong. Anybody who makes money out of these markets has got my respect. That's first and foremost. And copy trader built in. Yeah. I just don't know how he can be right so much of the time, because when he gets wrong, doesn't he blow the accounts? That's what I mean. If you're letting it run, yeah, if you're letting it run, what happens when it goes wrong? Straight lines. What am I missing here? Why you guys trade proper, not your own account? Money, mate. See, at the moment, I've got 10 accounts here and I'm able to trade 20 contracts. I would need a stink load of my own money to trade 20 contracts. So that's the beauty of, what would I need trading? Let's say I was risking 5%. If I had 100,000, let's say I have $50,000 in. 5,500 is 1%. So 2,500. So I'd need $50,000 and risking 5% of that to make the same amount of money that's going into my accounts now. And I've got $50,000 at risk. Whereas with these 10 accounts, for the PA accounts, they've cost me $1,400, and let's say, I don't know, another $400 for the, so we're talking less than $2,000 for the profits equivalent to a $50,000 account on my own. So it's a no-brainer. It blew everything yesterday, did it really? He does use a stop loss, so when he loses, he actually gets what? Yeah, he doesn't use a stop loss. Yeah, that's the one flaw with that. It's the one flaw with that strategy. It's great while it works, but it only needs to fail once. So let's say, what does he make an average of? Let's say he makes $260 per account. Let's say for an average. So he's got to make 10 days trading. So he's got to do it 10 times in a row to get to payout level. So if once during that 10 times it doesn't work, the account's blown. So I don't see how that's a winning strategy, but he seems to make it work somehow. So I don't quite know how. Surely you've got to put some sort of a stop in there, because if a losing trade means you wipe the account out, it doesn't sound like a recipe for consistency, although he seems to make it work. So I don't quite know how. Just took a look at his stream. Seems like he's got 8 PAs still alive. Yeah, I mean, he seems to be making a lot of money. I mean, he's made a year's worth of salary and some, hasn't he? Just in the first 3 months. So, but I don't know. How much can you put down to a little bit of luck and maybe just a good run? It's hard to say. Until I know what his strategy is exactly. I've got a rough idea what it is, but just knowing someone's strategy is one thing, but knowing how he decides, to make certain decisions is the bit, the interesting bit. I think we've got a channel up there with a break. Why is this not working for some reason? Why am I getting no colour? I've got it 10, that should be 12 is as much as I... Why am I getting no colour in these for some reason? Something's not right. Purple. Opacity 12. Let's put the opacity of 100. Alright then. Maybe I'm getting some. 30. Oh, that's a little bit better. 20. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, we can see the cut. Yeah, I can see it now. I just usually have it on about 12, and it's usually about that. So, touch. Nice looking channel with a break. 2 legs correction and another channel. So I'd say this is looking like it's going to push up. So we've got a break of the channel, and so far I'll be looking for a second entry long or a higher low. It's got a very high win rate. You must have, yeah. Need to sit down and figure it out. I thought it would be like Trading View. So I'll be looking for a higher low here if I can find it. So that looks like a channel. We've got a touch, and a touch. It visually doesn't look too bad. Tell you what makes it look a bit odd. Is that maybe? So we've got 2 legs of correction and a push up. So we're getting close to the top. So this isn't the best place to buy. So it makes sense we get a pullback. So we've got a pullback followed by a bullish bar. So we need a higher low here, somewhere here then for a push to the tops. You can see it at 12. Yeah, I don't know whether... is that dark, is it now, is it, or not? Or is it too dark? Did I do something to my screen yesterday? Let's put it back to 12 and see what happens. See, I can't see. Can you guys see anything now? Right, the strange thing is, I can't see no colour there, but if I look on OBS, which is recording it, I can see colour. Now, how weird is that? Now, how weird is that? I can, if I look at OBS, that's on my OBS. Well, you can't see nothing now, but I can clearly see. I can't now. What is going on here? Have I just gone colourblind all of a sudden? How weird is that? I can't see no colour there. That's strange. Let me see what the NQ's chart's doing. Is that doing the same? Let's set that to 12. Okay, so the NQ, that's what I can see. Right, hold on a minute. Can anybody see that? Half of it, there's no colour. I don't know what's going on here. Something's weird. Yeah, something's gone weird. I can see it, the NQ. When I drag it onto here, under this line is pink. Above this line is white. There's something amiss in the settings, isn't there? Something's gone wrong in the settings. Let me have a look at this. What is going on? Visible, locked, auto scale, touched. No, because when I went up to 30, I can see that now. That's dark. But then when I go down to 20, that's better. Yeah, it's lighter on this screen for some reason. That's a bit odd. I got a colour now anyway, so that's something. Yeah, so it's 20, so let's take it down to 15 and see what happens. Colour's gone. How weird is that? So if I put it back to 20, colours come back. Strange. Some strange goings on here. What is going on here? See this NQ for some reason. Leg down, break, leg, maybe a leg and a leg. I'm not sure about this. I'm going to get rid of that for now. Sorry, that. And that. I thought it might be something to do with the opacity now. Look how weird is that? Can anybody... it's all right. I think it's this screen, you know. When I bring that on, this is pink, but anything above that line is white. But on my stream, it's all pink. That is strange. But I've still got pink here. Okay, there is a failure there, trapping some longs, but to me, after the leg up, 2 legs back and a push up and a break, I'd expect to get up here. But the NQ's telling me a different picture. Let's see if that gets trapped. This is still a range as well with a breakout. Let's kill the colour for a minute. 0. Yeah, it's weird. Remember I was adjusting this? There's no colour. It's my screen. There's something wrong with the screen. Yeah. I can see what's being transmitted in OBS is grey. But here I can't see nothing, so let me just darken that. Let's go 30. It's bloody green. I don't know what's going on. There's something wrong with this. It must be this screen, I think. Oh well. I'll switch it off, reset it all later. I'll play around with it. It's not a major issue anyway. So, leg up, couple of legs back. Are we going up or are we coming down? If it has gone, it's not a major problem because I've been in and ahhing. Hold on a second. Have you guys noticed the quality any different today? If you guys noticed the quality's better, I changed my bit rate and went up massively. I wonder if it's something to do with the bit rate. Doesn't look any better, no? No, I took my bit rate up from about 14,000 to 32,000 because I've got a quick internet, so maybe that has something to do with it. So you don't notice a difference. Okay, I'll tell you what. Can I change the settings? So output stream 34 kilobytes. Let's put it down to 14. I think I can still do it. Apply. Okay. Okay, I've changed the bit rate. I can't see how it's going to make a difference, to be honest with you. Indy, how you doing, buddy? Volume is a little low, you're right. Whoever said that? Who said earlier volume was low? It's a European holiday. Why is volume so measurably low again? Yeah, well, it was yesterday. It's not now. Well, I don't know if it's a holiday anywhere else. I'm pretty sure it was a bank holiday yesterday, but yeah, I know it was low yesterday, which is why I finished early. But I don't know. Do you think sometimes that when, there's bank holidays or something like that, people tend to extend, take an extra day or two's holiday and just extend the, normally Easter, Friday and Monday, so you got a total of 4 days off. Sometimes I used to take the Thursday off and the Tuesday just to, you almost get a week then. You're green. Good on you, mate. I'm, 0 at the moment, but hopefully. Just not sure what's going on at the moment. Just needs a break. Yeah, you may be right, buddy. You may be right. We've had a lot of upward stuff, haven't we? So, I mean, considering there was a bank holiday UK and other places, it turned out that there was a little bit more volume. It just, obviously when we were going sideways, but then it seemed to pick up, didn't it? But yeah, we have had, there's a lot of volume that day, isn't it? A lot more volume. So yeah, and same again. So yeah, perhaps we need a moment of calm. Some consolidation, and when it is going sideways, there is less trading, isn't there? When it's congested like this and a little bit choppy, the sensible thing to do is just to stay out of a lot of this, isn't it? So yeah, that may be why. Yeah, I might have to be in the market for a new screen. some reason this range that you're seeing is grey, and I know that because I can see it on OBS, but what I'm seeing, there's no colour there for some reason. I wonder if it is the screen. Well, that'd be a shame. I'll be forced to go and buy myself a nice shiny new 4K one. I love my 400 ticket NQ set up every 2 minutes. Is it? What are you on the 400 NQ? Let's see what we're missing. Certainly a lot more bars. Certainly no seem to be no shortage of volume on that. Yeah, maybe. There's the 400 tick chart there, the NQ. A couple of legs down. You're looking at something like that. Second entry short there, maybe. Yeah, maybe something there. Yeah, I mean, you get more bars. I suppose it makes sense that you're probably going to get more setups. I think the thing about the NQ, this is probably, well, yeah, I'm going to say more like the ATRs, probably double. Well, they look more double, so it'd be easy to sort of money manage that. Yeah, probably short the tops here, but yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with that. So, we've had a channel with a break and some sideways. Are we going to push up? Or are we going to come down, or are we going to just stay sideways? You could say 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test. I'm just staying out of this, to be fair. 1, 2, 3, triple test. Yeah, maybe. But it's not for me. Could get a leg down, sideways, followed by another leg down. One, two, three. So we had that channel up, a two-legged correction, a pull-up with a break. Is there anything larger I'm missing there? It's a bit big, really, but there's always the possibility we can have a leg up and another leg up. That would make sense. Channel's a bit too wide at the moment, but doesn't mean it can't work. So leg up, touch, touch, touch. It makes sense that it goes up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this and drag it onto my other screen and see if the colours come up. Yeah, they do. As soon as I stick them onto there, nothing. Yeah, that's weird. I think it's the screen going. So leg, are we getting a leg and a leg? Okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Make a cup of tea, stretch my legs. So I'm going to pop that there. Just not sure what's going on here at the moment. We may push up. Sideways. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, so quick cup of coffee. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. I didn't miss anything, did I? Yeah, volume is definitely lower. That's no argument there. Quick question. Just looking at a new monitor, something like this, 4K. Now, I know roughly what refresh rate is. That's 60 Hz, that's 90 Hz, that's 100 Hz. Now, I'm assuming fast-moving stuff like maybe gaming or something like that. But if I went for a 4K monitor with 60 Hz, that'd be perfectly fine to trade on. Just, you know, any of you gamers or you techie guys out there. I don't need to concern myself too much with a higher bit rate, do I? So 60 be fine. It's just this, for some reason, it's not enabling me to put colours in here. You have 140, that's for gaming. Yeah, that's for fast-moving stuff, a faster refresh rate. But for something like this, Sam, 60 would be fine, wouldn't it? It's just this is starting to play up, this monitor I'm on now. So that what I'm looking at is a 28-inch 4K. I'd just like to have the option to put out 4K. Perfectly fine, yeah. I like to see, I've got a 4K, we've got a 4K TV downstairs. And if I'm watching something, I like to watch as much as I can, quality as I can. So that's pretty reasonable, that, isn't it? That one. Samsung as well. So 4K 28-inch. That'd be perfectly suitable. It's on offer as well, isn't it? A little bit off it. More than fine. I just use regular cheap monitors. Yeah, I've just noticed when I've been watching back some of this, sometimes the quality isn't great. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, I only use regular monitors here. I mean, this one is an MSI. I paid about £180 for it. It's 29-inch. The other three I've got are just HP 24-inch HP. Or the other four rather, 24 HP or 5. So I just fancy one 4K one. It's an inch bigger than this as well. This is 27. That's £220. That's not bad. I might order that. Thursday, it'll give me something nice and shiny to open. Yeah, see this one I got here, it's not the greatest quality. It's not very bright either, this one. I've got it on the brightest setting and I could go a lot. It's just got no oomph. Okay, so let's just get rid of that for now. Oh, no, don't shut the wrong window down. Okay, so leg up. So initially I was looking at this, a channel with a break, 2 legs of correction, a push up, a little bit of a pull back and eventually up for another leg. Trouble is when it's doing this, it's just gone, isn't it? So unfortunately for me, there was no real entry there. I have 3 4K monitors, all 60 Hz, and they're perfectly fine if they're already in here. I just want to, I don't know. I just like as nice quality as I can. Because, you know, sometimes if I'm looking at stuff back, mind you, it's only really my stuff. If no one else puts stuff out in 4K, it's kind of useless, isn't it? But it would just be nice to have the option to have a little bit nicer quality. And not only that, I'll looking at quality as well. I'm assuming if I have 4K, I can look at this chart in 4K, can't I? See, there was another option I considered. We're updating our TV. I thought 2K would have worked just fine. We're updating our main TV in our living room next month. We're going to get one of those 65-inch, something a little larger, because I like my movies and TV as 65-inch 4K. So I've got downstairs, I've got a Samsung curved 4K 55-inch. I considered bringing that into the room, putting that on the wall, and just dividing that into 4 or maybe into 3, because you can. There is a bit of software you can use. I forget what it's called now, that you can get it all split up. So maybe use the bottom section, half of it, for a widescreen, and split the 2 tops up, and then maybe use a couple of my other monitors. 55-inch 4K, yeah. It's a bit old, that one. Well, I say old, it's maybe about 5 or 6 years old. It was one of the last sort of curved ones, but it was about £1,500 when I paid for it. So it'd be interesting. It's going to be going spare anyway, so I might just bring it up. And the beauty is I can put it on a bracket on the wall. The plan was to get a slightly deeper desk, but if I put that on the wall, I can bring my desk away from it. And so I noticed a few streamers do it. The good thing is, at the moment, I've got 6 monitors. So I've got 2 leads coming out of each, obviously a power lead and an HDMI. So I've got 12 leads. So if I look under my desk, it's just like an electrician's nightmare. So the beauty about having the 1 4K is it gives me the equivalent of 4 monitors with just 1 power. So I might have a go at that one weekend. In fact, I might take my computer down and just plug it in and see if I can figure out how to split the screens. But there is a piece of software you can use, actually. I forget what it's called. And you can set it to how you want it divided. But I like the idea of having the bottom half of it as a widescreen, being curved as well, and then using the top two to split up a little bit. I've looked at the price of some of those super wide screens, and they're like about £800 a piece. So I'm not spending £1,600. If I'm going to spend £1,600, I'd rather buy an OLED one or something like that. You can get that for less than that, and then you know, it's all in one. So I'm just going to put that up. If I could do over, I'd get a 49-inch 5K monitor. I think we're up to 8K now, aren't we, somewhere? I don't know, can the eye see 8K? I don't even know. I love technology, I do. My next thing to get rid of is my phone. The thing is, in the summer when you go out, it's a pain in the arse going out with your phone, I think, sometimes. If you're walking around in shorts and t-shirt. So I'm going to get myself one of those Apple Watches, the Ultra one. So it's nice and strong, and you can use it for phone calls, emails, text, and to pay with as well. So you can just go out with a watch on your wrist, same, rather than having your wallet or your phone. So that's my next purchase. And it's shiny. We all would like nice shiny new things, don't we? Nice ultra wide, they're like 2K monitors side by side. Yeah, I don't know. I love gadgety stuff anyway. I think most guys do, don't we? So, anybody watch that Chinesey girl trader? She's got a big following, actually. She's got 2 of them. I saw her set them up. What's her name? I think she does well. When's this? Anybody know when this fight is? This Tyson and what's it fight? Tyson and what's his name? Jake Paul. Anybody got any opinions? Who they think are going to win? I don't doubt Jake Paul's got age on his side, but Mike Tyson still looks dangerous to me. And if you catch him, if he catches someone one of those hooks, I can't see how he wouldn't switch his lights off. I'm looking forward to the Conor McGregor one. What's his name? The other guy. I can't think of his name now. I saw him arguing in the ring. I have an unlimited budget. It's got a plan until they. Yeah, exactly. Trouble is, I mean, Mike Tyson, he's unpredictable, isn't he? I don't know. I've seen him sometimes been interviewed by reporters, and you can see the reporters look like they're shitting themselves, and rightly so, because he does look like he's the type of guy that could just turn. I think if you ever meet him, just to suck up to him as much as you can. But yeah, he's still a powerful guy, isn't he, Tyson? I suppose what he lacks for in maybe it's not so much speed, is it? It's more how long is he going to last? Because he was never in any fights very long, was he? It was always a sort of a first rounder or the first couple of 3 rounds. I don't think he did many rounds, did he? So if Jake Paul can stop him knocking him out in a few rounds, I dare say Jake Paul will be the fitter one, but at the end of the day, Tyson's is a big guy and he's still powerful. So I think Jake Paul's best thing to do is just keep running away from him and try and exhaust him. So there was a big bullish bar on top of there, pushing out, but in all fairness, that was mega dangerous. Way far from the EMA. So, by the looks of things, my initial thoughts of a leg up, 2 legs of correction, a push up, multiple attempts to go lower, and now we're back out the top. So, it does look like more upward stuff. Is there a channel there? There may be, actually. Did I do that earlier? I might have done. So, yeah, push up sideways. Obviously, that's how channels tend to work, don't they? Push up sideways, push up sideways. So there maybe is something larger there. But for now, this is where I expect to get. So what I'd like to do is to have a break and maybe retest the top of this and then catch something on the way up. We've broken above this comfortably. So a couple of legs down. What's that NQ doing? Yeah, see, that NQ hasn't really looked like a range for a while. We come off the bottoms. We've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to break below there, and it wasn't having none of it. So now we're up again. So maybe, in fact, if it is a leg and a leg, we're not far off that. So ideally, we really want to break now before that goes too high. Yeah, I think the thing with Tyson is he wasn't really a boxer, was he? See, there's people, I mean, when I used to watch people like some of the earlier fights, people like Frank Bruno. Frank Bruno was a boxer, whereas Mike Tyson, well, you could say he's an animal, but he was just a fighter, wasn't he? Some people are just born to fight. People like the Diaz brothers, that, you know, there's martial arts guys, isn't there? And there's just pure animals that are in the ring that you've got to knock them down to stay down. I mean, people like the Diaz brothers, the harder you hit them, the more they laugh in front of your face. You know, I mean, people like Nate Diaz, the more you hurt him and hit him, the more dangerous he seems to become. You wouldn't think the world would work that way, but the more battered he tends to get, he tends to come back, doesn't he? Some people are just born to fight, aren't they? And people like them, people like those guys are them. You know, there's a boxer and there's a fighter, and the boxers for me just never quite got those guts to be able to, you know, keep on going when they get battered. No, there wasn't really, was there? I mean, he used to devastate the biggest guys on the planet with those hooks. I tell you what, I remember when I was a kid, well, say younger. You know, do you remember those He-Men that used to get that used to? They sort of got their arms out and you used to twist them and they spin back at you. He always reminded me of one of those. He just had that devastating hook which would just break ribs. No, there wasn't. There's never really been anybody. I don't know. I got into this conversation with someone a while ago. They said, he's never really fought anybody that good, but I don't know. Stretch Armstrong. I remember owning one of those as a kid. Yeah, I remember those. Stretch Armstrong. Used to pull his arms wide out and legs. Yeah, crikey. You're nearly as old as me, but I think. And the Evil Knievel's. Do you have one of those? We used to wind the handle and used to shoot off. Yeah. With the there you go. If I didn't know it, I know now. Stretch Armstrong, yeah. They're worth some money, some of those toys, aren't they? Crazy, isn't it? The good old days, eh? They don't make stuff like that. They don't make them anymore, do they? Evil Knievel, yeah, I remember that one. I remember in the kitchen, they've been using that. Making ramps for them. Dukes of Hazzard. I never had one of those. Dukes of Hazzard. What's some of my most memorable toys? I remember ever getting my first skateboard. I had some of the knee pads, elbow pads, and the helmet. I looked like a right tit. It was a metal one I had, almost like a brass or a gold one, with a little sort of grip strip up the middle. I remember having a chopper as well. They're worth some money now. I don't know if do you remember chopper rally bikes? Did you have them over in the US? Never had your PlayStations and mobiles back then. It is amazing how the hell we ever survived without mobiles, isn't it? G.I. Joe, yeah. It was what was it over here? Action Man. Yeah, you guys had G.I. Joe, we had Action Man. And Lego as well. Lego seemed to have stood the test of time. That must make a fortune out of Lego. They must make a fortune. I mean, what it basically is just a load of plastic blocks, isn't it? But they sell it for such a lot of money. You still go in the kids, the toy shops now. 60, 70 pound for a box of the stuff. It's unbelievable. They must make a fortune. But I think they got the monopoly. There's nothing quite like Lego, is there? Yeah, it's a different world now, is it? I'll be 55 next month. Flipping scary. Scary. What date? 19th. 19th of June. 1969. Same date as Boris. Oh, you're the 4th, are you? Same date as Boris Johnson, minus. My claim to fame. I've heard rumours there is a possibility we could have him back as another Prime Minister. That'd be weird. Wouldn't that be weird? You guys have got you. That would be weird. You guys have Trump and we have Boris Johnson again. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that, have we? When was the last time you had a Prime Minister who came, sort of a president that came back? I can't remember when we've ever had a Prime Minister that came back, but there is a possibility. I've heard a few people talking about that they'd like Boris back. Strange that, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be weird? Us with Boris Johnson and you guys with Trump again. Strange. It's a strange world, isn't it? No, he's older than 59, Boris, isn't he? I think, isn't Boris 59 or something? I don't know. In terms of back-to-back, yeah. I actually didn't mind Boris. It was a bit different. He had a different sort of sense of humour. All this stuff through COVID and that, I don't know. He was just, I mean, look, who didn't break COVID rules at one time or another? Everybody did. Of course they did. You weren't supposed to go within 2 metres of someone who didn't do that. Yeah, they had a few drinks. Mind you, when you're running a country like that and you've got that much responsibility on your head, people are looking to you while their relatives are dying. Is it any wonder you ever get together and have a few bloody beers? Yeah, I thought he was okay. The trouble is, at the end of the day, he's a politician. They're all the same, really, aren't they? But, I mean, people say, they're always out to what they can get. Yeah, there's probably a degree about that. But, in all honesty, when you do a job, you want to be known in history for doing a good job. So you're going to want to try and at least make an effort. Just looking at all the years. Oh, he is 59. That was a good guess. 59. Yeah, he's got 5 years or 4 years on me. Yeah, he wasn't that bad. David Cameron, I didn't mind either. Mind you, I still like Clinton. In fact, Clinton spoke, I think it was, he did a speech. I think it was in Brighton in the UK. I think it may have been something like a Conservative meeting, and he spoke. He made a speech, and I really liked him. I know he had issues with all that stuff with Monica Lewinsky, but he's a guy, she's a girl, We've all got the same type of brain, haven't we? But I liked him. I thought it was okay. Stephen Cleveland was the 22nd. Oh, is it really? Cleveland. So that was quite a few years back, wasn't it? That was. When was that? Cleveland. Was that 50s or 60s or before that, was it? I can't remember. But no, I like Clinton, I did. Mind you, could have had Arnold Schwarzenegger. You could have had the Terminator as president at one point. I mean, it's getting a bit old now, isn't he? Joe Biden. Strange. What is he, in his 80s? Is he in his 80s? Yeah, you wouldn't think you'd have someone running a country in their 80s. Most people in their 80s are in old people's homes. Joe Biden. That was 81. They're both old. Yeah. Is 81? I don't know. Is it 2? I mean, really, they're only sort of a face of a nation, really, aren't they? 81, yeah. Most people are 81 have been retired for about 15 years, haven't they? Late 80. All right. I was out by a couple of centuries. You want Snoop Dogg? That'd be good for interesting speeches. Actually, I don't mind him. I kind of like him. He's got kind of a sweet side, hasn't he? But yeah, you'd have a prime minister which will be constantly stoned. We certainly probably wouldn't have any wars. That's for certain. Right, am I looking for a long off here? Snoop. Are we looking for a long? Well, trouble is, it's definitely sideways. We've had a breakout here and a breakout at the top, so this could fail. So I probably wouldn't want to take the second entry long. I'd like to give it a chance to trap that bar and come down into the range, so maybe a higher low. So I'm going to get rid of that just for a sec because it's going to affect my bias. So leg down with a break. So maybe a hidden second entry long there. Trouble is, it could come down back into the range. It's possible. I don't think it will because it looks like we've got a leg sideways followed by a leg. But I don't think I'd take that first one. I don't take many second entries anymore. I always find, well, partly because we don't see many, but I always find the safer option is the higher low. If there is a higher low, chances are we're going to get up here somewhere. We've not been up here for a while. Well, for quite a while. In fact, this is probably the highest we've been for a few weeks, isn't it? Let's have a look at the daily on the yes. Oh no, tell a lie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, this is the highest we've been for over a couple of weeks. In fact, see, we've had that. That's the daily. We had that massive load of buying, didn't we? Huge channel up there after sort of the remnants from COVID. And then we've had a break. So I think it's likely we're going to get up here. There's all-time highs. 223. We're not a million miles away from it. 120, 125, 127 points. We can soon polish that off in a few days. So, leg. Yeah, it's been very bullish, isn't it, for a while? So a leg and a leg. We're actually right on that now, so keep an eye on that. And this is the 10,000 tick chart, leg and a leg. So I think I'd expect to get up here. That one is a bit too congested, and it's, what is it, 10 ticks, tick above, tick below $300. Yeah, that doesn't interest me, that one. Not much room to the highs. Will it work? It's engulfing about the last 4 bars, so possibly. But it's just too risky, really. Sideways, no room to the top. You could get in down here on a limit order, but I don't know. You don't want to see that, do you? If it triggers you for a tick and starts to work down, that's usually a bad sign. Yeah, so push up with a break. We've actually had a break and a new high, but from what I can see, leg, correction, another leg. I think that's likely. It looks right on the 10,000 tick chart as well, so maybe a couple of attempts to go lower and then maybe up. We'll see. See if we can get a triple test here somewhere. Bounce, 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 and then up. It's the lowest that ATR's been for a while. Possible higher low. I just don't like it. Too far from the MA. We've got some support up here, so it's just too risky, that is. We've got to get back here, really, before I even consider thinking about going along leg. See that NQ? It could move up from here. You got a touch. It actually fits. So is that going to push up? It may do. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Did look like it was starting to hug that line. Trouble is, we're very close to this measured leg on the NQ. Doesn't leave us much left. It'd be hard to whether to continue on up. We may have a leg and a leg. Who knows? Got to be 2 legs really before I can consider going long. My only slight concern about going long off here is I like that channel. We've had a break. 2 pushes up to a new high. So technically that's played out. We got very close to that measured leg. Okay, there's kind of 2 legs back there, but I just can't go along there. One that's a doji, you'd be going along right in the middle of this. That NQ's telling me we've had a channel with a break in a new high, so it could trigger you along and give you a lower high back down to retest this this support here. So it just doesn't feel right to go along. Not only that, it's a million miles away from that EMA, so we could get a lower high. It may trap some longs, get a lower high, and come down to at least the EMA. So I just can't take anything at the moment here, unfortunately. That is so weird. That is the bottom half of that. Why is it doing that? The bottom half is pink. Everything above this is white. But when I'm looking on my OBS, the whole thing's pink. Strange. Some strange shit happening in my house. This is all completely white. I can see on OBS that it's showing is in grey, but it's white to me. I can't see any colour. Odd. Very odd. There is actually a failure there as well. Unfortunately, no setup. I suppose that was the only half decent one, but one, it's a first entry. Two, you can't go along that close to the tops, but a lot of the times it'll work. So Apex isn't happy with you making so much. Yeah, I wish, mate. Don't let lots of PA accounts fool you. Just because there's a lot of them doesn't mean there's a lot of money in them. Trust me, if they're concerned about anybody, they've got their eyes on Alpine Trader and not me, I can assure you. I wonder how they'll look at him if he continues to play money. Because let's think about this. I mean, he's clearly still on a sim. So if he's on a simulator, they've got two options. They just pay him out the funds or they copy his trades. But they can't continue to pay him that sort of money with either saying, you can either go on a live account. I'd be interested to see what the process is to moving someone onto a live account. So there was a failure which did work. I didn't like it because it's going sideways, but it did hold. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what the procedure is for putting someone on Alpine's type of guy who gets paid. Yeah, well, I mean, it's. You know, I know his strategy is sort of a bit hit and miss, but he's making it pay month after month, and there's obviously luck out there, but he's obviously got a strategy where he's effective. Now, any type of strategy where a losing trade results in a blown account doesn't sound good, but I don't think he's telling us the full story. I think there's something in there that's creating him to do that. Or does he get out at some point? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the other day, didn't he get out at $800 down? I don't think you can have a strategy that when you win, great. When you lose, the account gets blown. Because you couldn't be that accurate all the time. Even if you're winning 90% of the time, even that one time is going to wipe your account out. If you've got a trade for 10 days in a row and you're averaging $275 on a trade, that covers your fees. That gives you $2,600. You've got to be right 10 times in a row. You get wrong once, counts are blown, and not one of them, all of them. So that's very interesting. Fail breakout, 2 points. Very tempted to buy.
Order submitted.
What do I do? I don't think that's a bad setup, but the NQ is telling me something slightly different at the moment. Leg and a leg, bullish bar off this support. Is it a bad trade? I don't think it is. But I just don't like what the NQ is doing at the moment.
Order cancelled.
See, that's 8 ticks, isn't it? If you're getting there, you're only risking a 1.5. Trouble is, we've tried multiple times to push up, so it may not work. It may come down. So, if you've gotten halfway there, it may not be a bad risk, but whenever it triggers you by a tick and starts to work down, if that was a good entry, that would start to move. Maybe it will, but if you get in there on a limit order, maybe a tick below there and get in maybe there, you're risking a 1.5. No, that to me isn't strong when it's doing that. It triggers by a tick and it's trying to come down, so no, I'm staying out of this. I was tempted to take it on a limit order back in, just risk a 1.5, but I just, the NQ is not necessarily looking like, I mean, we've had a break, we've had 2 pushes up, we got very close to this measured move, we had a big bearish bar, we're struggling around here, so it may go up, but it could come lower this. We could have a leg and it may come down and retest this, but it's just not filling me full of confidence to go long. So the simple answer is just to stay out of it. Maybe it'll work, but I mean, what is, we're going sideways, it's like a failed breakout, isn't it? But it may work. Leg up, 2 legs of correction, push, pull back, push, break out of here, which has failed. So maybe it's not a bad trade. I'm just not taking it because it's not an obvious trade to me, and there's nothing worse when it triggers you and already starts to work back. Now, if we can get a higher low there without going too much further, that might not be a bad option. Something tells me it's not bad. But it's it's just I don't like what the NQ is doing. It's the NQ that's keeping me out of that trade, because it's not a massive risk. In all fairness, it's only 2 point the bar. I like the fact that it's pushed in and it's bouncing there, but I don't know. It's just I'm just going to sit this one out. Okay, it worked nicely. Part of me liked it. I like the way we're testing this, but then all of a sudden, when it triggered by 1 tick and already started to work down, fills me full of dread. I mean, you could have got in there halfway. Well, you could have had a more or less a point risk there if you got in there on a limit order. I think you'd have got 2 points out of that, even if you'd have gone a tick above it, wouldn't you? Not quite. So you'd have got 6 ticks out of that. I think the better option is, if you like the trade, was to get in down here somewhere, then you'd have had your 2 points. Yeah, see, I don't know what's going on here. This to me now, we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high, trapping the longs, lower high. Are we coming down? I really don't know. Leg and a leg. It's very, very close to being a measured leg, but not quite. So we're going to trigger that. There's a lower high there, but it's just congested. So are we going to trigger that and push up, or are we going to come down? I don't know. No idea. I think Mac will mark that one. Part of me likes it. It's the NQ that kept me on that one. Mind you, there wouldn't have been a lot to the top. I think you'd have got 6 ticks. Getting in that on the limit, or it would have been better, I think. But it is bounced twice there, right off that top line. And it's like a leg and a leg. Trapping that big bearish bar with the bullish bar, sitting nicely on top of there. I don't think it's bad. Yeah, I think if that was a good enough setup, 2 legs back, that would have took off. It's just struggled so many times to get up, hasn't it? Okay, below that bar and below that bar. So now what's going to happen? Are we now going to bounce off this, 2 legs back, and then up we go? See if anything happens here. Interesting. There is a second entry long off the NQ. My thought processes were slowly moving up. I'm not confident enough to take a trade like that. You could say there's 2 legs down, failed breakout. It's not a massive risk. But I just don't know at the moment. strange. It looks flipping green to me, this does. Yeah, so that works now. I don't know what's going on. That's interesting. Oh, is there a trap there? There may be. Is this coming back below there? I'm staying out of this at the moment. Maybe a higher low there. What I don't like is it's pushed below this and come back and retested it. If we can retest it again with a second entry short, that might be a short option. So there may have been some people who shorted that thinking they've got a trapped bull bar there, and all of a sudden it's come down, broke below there, and trapped that bar. Now this is going to push up. Is this just still retesting the side? It's going to stop that out, or are we now moving up? Now up for me was the picture that I assumed we were doing. Funnily enough, look where that sits. So sideways, leg down, leg down. If we can get a higher low here, that might not be a bad option. Or something here. I'm not so sure about that. We've tried to break out of this again, so I think there is a chance we could come back into it a little bit steeper. Yeah, see, looking at that NQ chart, we've had this sort of channel up with a break, couple of legs of correction, a retest of this, so we've bounced this 3 times, so you'd think we'd have another leg, which we more or less have apart from a few ticks. Whereas we've got a lower high there, and now we've got a failure, so are we going to come down and retest this, or are we actually going to push back into this range, or are we going to continue on up? It's just not very clear at the moment. It could, you may go short there, it may trigger, bounce and push up. I really don't know at the moment. Excuse me. what I'm seeing here looks to me like it's coming down. So we've tried multiple times to get up, haven't we? There was a nice looking bullish bar off there, but only got so far, came straight back down through the EMA. So this, to me, we got some support there and some support there. Looks to me like it might be, we've got a channel down with a one attempt to go higher, second one. For me, this looks more bearish now, I think. Don't get me wrong, I want to like to think we're continuing up because that's what I initially thought. But we've got a little channel with a break. I mean, it might go the other way around, but we're now pushed below here and we've already tested it once. We've pushed up again and we got rejected off that underside of that little range. And it has got a bearish feel to it. So there may be a second entry short here. On the other hand, what's the NQ saying? We've had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high, lower high there, came down, bounced off here. It's so hard to say. We just make another attempt and then we're going to come down. It's quite hard to read today. It's very sort of, the pattern's a bit, there's a lot of sort of chop. I'm not thinking about going long here anyway. Not yet. If we can continue up and maybe get a higher low, then I'll have to look at it. But let's just, that's interesting. It's clearly working there, isn't it? So maybe that's not bad. Something I don't like about this. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. If this comes down and closes below the main, below this line, I can't even think about going long. It's 11 ticks, so tick above, tick below. It's 3.25 points, $325. Telecount. I'm not risking $3,000 on that going up. I like what it's doing there, but there's something I don't like about it. And there's nothing worse than having a nice bullish bar like that, which triggers and struggles to go anywhere. This looks to me like it may be trapping some longs. I mean, I could completely have this wrong, and it's not the easiest of charts to read today. You know, one thing makes me think it's going up, but look how many times we struggled to get up there. We had a breakout there, which fell, came back up to the top again. It's exactly the same place, and then we dropped again. So for me, this market's struggling to get up, and a bar like that, I think, is dangerous. We could get a flush down, but we've also got a small channel with one attempt to go higher and a second attempt to go higher. Now, it may eventually work up, but this to me is not filling me full of confidence to take a trade like that. I mean, look what it's doing already. This NQ, same again. Is this looking bullish? I don't think it is at the moment. We've had a break, 2 pushes up for a new high, but look what's happening. Bearish bar, push up, bearish bar. There's a long there, which is trapped. Is this going to come down, break below there? I'd say quite likely. So for me, going long there, not for me at the moment. I mean, possible high low. I don't know. I'm just not a massive fan of what I'm seeing. It's a little bit unpredictable and unclear. There is a higher low there. Top list, we're so close to the highs, aren't we? Still not a massive fan, unfortunately. It's not just not filling me full of confidence. It may work, but I just don't like it. There's not much room left to the highs if you're getting a tick above it. I mean, there's a 1.5 to the highs. It may work and rock it up, but it seems to be struggling to me. And whenever it's struggling to get up, sometimes it's got a horrible habit of just dropping. And that's the bit that's making me nervous. I'm quite happy to let it go, but it's just not filling me full of confidence. Is anybody in that high or low? Now there's a possible second entry short form in there, so that's interesting. Yeah, this just doesn't look like you think it'll work. Yeah, maybe. I'm a bit on the fence, but look what's possibly forming now, see? So that's not what you want to see. It's struggling, isn't it? It's struggling to go up. It looks like it's sucking in some longs. Let's see if this triggers. If there's a second entry short there, if this triggers, then it may give it a little bit extra momentum. But look, we've tried multiple times to work higher. Yeah, we've pushed out and we've come back in. We've made one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. I think this is coming down. It's going to stop that out. In fact, I'm convinced it is. Yeah, it's dangerous, isn't it? It's Trap City, isn't it, really? See, looking at that NQ, we are trying to get up. You're drawing your channel diagonally, so an overshoot. Overshoot could be wrong. I mean, in all fairness, it could do either or here, couldn't it? The NQ looks like it's trying to push higher. Yeah, I mean, it's looking even more dangerous now. Look, there could be a 1, 2, there could be 3 lots of longs trapped in here. 50-50, yeah, I'd say that's about right. Yeah, maybe it is going to squeeze up. Trouble is, there's nothing worse being in trays like that, because sometimes it'll just drop. I mean, there's a lot of... It's failed multiple times. We had one push up 1, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. That one, and a bearish bar. So yeah, I mean, if this movement here was working along this lineup, then that might feel a little bit better. You can see another failure, but I could be wrong. Yes, there's a failed second entry short there. There's also a failed second entry long, which is triggered and looks like it may be getting stopped out. You know, perhaps it is going to work, but this to me just looks a bit sketchy. Not much room left to the lows. This could just drop. Whenever it's really slowly working up and giving entries which look a bit too good to be true, for me it can come down quick. And I think that's what might be happening here. So there's a higher low there, which is triggered. So let's have a look. This is just not pushing up with any confidence or belief, which tells me there's just a lack of confidence in the buyer in buying here. So for me, I think this is likely to come down, which is another reason why I didn't get in there. I don't mind higher lows, but I much prefer a higher low to be working up on that line. Bounce here, higher low there. This is way too far up here, really. see the NQ. It is trying. We've had a break, 2 pushes too high. We've had a couple of legs down. Then it is trying to work, and it may do. But this, to me, same again. There's a lower high there. There's going to be some stops below there, surely. Very close to this measured move. There's definitely some stops there. There is a battle going on here, so whether it will eventually... If it gets above there, I think it's game over. It'll hit these levels, but this to me looks like it could just come shooting down. Slower it goes up, quicker it comes down. Let's see if it triggers this bar, this failure. It could hit this failure and then drop. So there's definitely 2 lots of longs in there. Yeah, this looks a bit dicey to me, this does. It may eventually work. Obviously, there's a battle going on. We can clearly see that. But we do seem to be... Let's see if we break above this, things might change, but... see, there's longs in there with a failure. There'll be longs with a higher low, so it may work. Okay, we're above that now. Let's see if that makes a difference. See, if you go short there, surely your stop will be a little bit above here. So it may slowly work. Trouble is when it's going that slow. When I've been in trays like that before, and I know that from experience because you don't forget them when you're thinking, yeah, I got long, and all of a sudden it drops and it pisses you off and you don't forget it. So I notice that whenever it goes really slow, slowly trying to grind up, I just don't even think about taking a trade because it brings back bad memories. It's almost like it's just waiting for the bubble to burst. So that's triggered, that one's triggered, and that's triggered. So there's you have another channel where a single line is. About here, yeah. Trouble is, we've had this channel out the top, and we've made multiple attempts, and we've come straight back. We've bounced, pushed up again, and we're still struggling. Now, there'll be some longs in there taking the failure, thinking we're pushing up. There'll be some longs in there taking the higher low. Maybe some above there, you know, it makes sense. We touched it quite a few times, and it may work. But when it really struggles, sometimes it can just take a nosedive quick. So my experience of this fills me full of dread, so I just avoid them. Now, one thing I've noticed over the last few years is you do get a feeling for something. I've seen this picture before many times in my head, and it stung me. And something, you get that feeling when you look at it and think, I don't like this. I've been in this situation before. You know, it is like visiting a city when you've or a town somewhere in the middle of nowhere that you've been to once before, years ago, but something just seems familiar. So it may eventually work. But yeah. This is just looking dicey to me. This is the slower this struggles to move, the quicker it can come down in the opposite direction. If it drops below there, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes below there as well. So that's flickering now. That's a bad sign. Okay, that's the one stop gone. Let's see if it gets to this one. Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. So if you got into that one, I've seen that happen so many times, and you don't forget it when you're stuck in it, because you're thinking, look, there you go, down there again. Everything is pointing upwards. We push up. We have a couple of bigger channel. We have a nice level of correction. We push up, retest these loads of times. We stroll to go, push up, few little breaks, and up again. And it may still work that way. But when it's choppy like this, it's just so dangerous getting into these trades. And funnily enough, it's took out stops there and there, but not here, because there's still some support there, and it may eventually work up. I got no idea whether it will or not. But the good thing about getting trapped and losing trades like that is you learn. You really learn. So we may end up having a dry day today, which I don't mind, because there's a lot of this sideways stuff. You know, when you move on your way to where you're going to go, that there is some setups. We've got a channel up there with 2 legs back, and there was a higher low there. It was a little bit of a doji, but it was still more on the bullish side and above the EMA. So after that 2 legs back, I'd have expected that to work. There was 2 legs back there, but the trouble is you hadn't really confirmed anything there, so nothing there really. Did not work. One might be one that sets it up. It might just go down for a second. Yeah. I mean, whenever it's slowly grinding up, I've noticed it'll drop quick. The slower it goes up, the quicker it comes down, and obviously vice versa if we're in a downtrend. So yeah, it may still eventually grind up. Once it gets above this, there's going to be some stops above there for sure. A leg and a leg. Because every time it was getting close, it was just struggling. So there's going to be. But if we can get above this, then I think that, maybe that might be the next level. So can we actually get rid of that now? I think we probably can, can't we? Excuse me. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those days today. Lots of sort of sideways. Same again, chopping at different angles. In fact, folks, I'm going to knock it on the head there. It's one of those days today. There's nothing that I found really attractive today. And same again, we're back going sideways. And it may eventually grind up there. But my cut-off point is usually 3 hours. I've done 2 hours and 35 minutes. So it's very slow. The volume's low and there's a lot of sideways. So I wouldn't be shocked if I come back in 20 minutes and we were still here. It's hard to trade today, so I'm not going to spend any more of my time here. So if you guys carrying on, best of luck. I hope you get out here and what I have noticed, when we're getting close to 9 o'clock UK time, we usually get a rally. And I believe I heard someone mention about 85% of the time it's up. Yeah, you too, Chris. But yeah, it's hard going today, isn't it? So I'm not going to make you guys suffer anymore listening to me. So there you go. So Tuesday today, Wednesday, tomorrow, hopefully volume might be a little bit better tomorrow. But we do seem to be making some upward moves, but it's just a bit slow today. Maybe after lots of pushing up the bank holiday, whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know. Who knows? But that's me done for the day. So I'll be back tomorrow. You too, bud. I'll be back tomorrow. So best of luck today. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And I will see you all same time tomorrow. Bye for now.